you're between the ages of 16 to 26 and you want to succeed in life, I need you to do one thing. Stop prioritizing fun. I want you to think about this for a moment. The most creative years of your life are founded between the ages of 6 and they peak all the way till 26. Research has shown that typically once you start hitting your 30s and 40s, it declines tremendously. And then typically when you're 60 years old, we're talking about a complete lack of creativity. But by the time you're hitting 30 years old, you're already pretty much stuck in your ways. You already have a pretty strong formation as to how you want to live. And you know where you want to go in life, typically speaking. But during 16 to 26, these are some of the most reckless years. However, also some of the most creative years possible for you in your life. However, the world tells us to be reckless, to live without care, to just have fun. And during those years, we find that a lot of people are getting into drugs, getting into alcohol, smoking, partying, clubbing, and all of those are actually things that damage creativity, that damage the brain, and ultimately do not help you for complete optimal functionality. But what better way to hold you as a slave to the work grind for 40 years than to say, waste the best, most optimal years of your life to work for us or to work for a system for 40 years. Now think about this for a second. You have fun for 10 years and you work from about 25, 26 years old all the way until you're about 65 to 66 years old. That is a typical retirement age for most individuals. And in that time period, research has shown, surveys, multiple indicators have shown that 70% of North Americans also live paycheck to paycheck. And what does that mean? Ultimately, they need that paycheck to come every second and fourth week in order for them to pay the mortgage, to pay the bills, to take care of their family. And so it becomes a lot easier to manipulate the system, to hold you to a standard, because you know what? You need to survive. You need to pay the bills. You need to take care of your family. And so we pay you enough to feel content, but not to dream, not to live out your greatest fantasies, not to build, because by that time, it's harder for you to start working on a business. Because you have a family to feed, you have a spouse to take care of, you have yourself to take care of. It's harder for you to go out of your shell and figure things out and fail and try again with much responsibility. But guess what you don't have when you're 16, 17, 18 years old? Tons of responsibility. But yet these are the years that they want you to waste away. Think about this for a moment. Imagine you spent those 10 years where you have the greatest maximal creativity, optimal energy, where just life is booming. You don't even need that much sleep. You're able to do that much more, and you could produce for yourself. You could fail and try again because you don't have much responsibility. Most people don't have kids around that time. You don't have a spouse. You can just try. Imagine using those years for the best, most optimal framework for you to try and succeed in life. I'm talking about 3 major things. Building major skill sets, because having tons of knowledge doesn't always mean you're gonna get paid. You got a lot of smart individuals who are working for schools, professors, and they're making peanuts. Yeah, they're doing a great thing. But we're talking about building, talking about this empire that you want to truly grow. Build skills, because those skills are transferable for revenue. We're talking about trying to find multiple streams of income that you can sustain your life for life to come. And number 3, using your creativity to start new things, to build businesses, to figure out what you truly want to become in life. Because as you continue to start growing in these times, these 10 years, the most optimal years of your life, you can use those 10 years in order for you to create and build and find freedom. That's what people want. They want freedom. They don't want to request PTO for 3 weeks out of 52. We don't want that. The world doesn't want that. But this is what we're forced into. I get 21 days out of 365 to have fun to myself. The world wants freedom. And the best way for you to do that is not to prioritize fun in the most optimal years of your life. But now you can optimize, work maximal efforts, creative prowess in order for you now to build for your future. And so now we can, instead of trading 10 years of fun for 40 years of work, we can trade 10 years of work for 40 years of freedom. Wouldn't that be better for you? Wouldn't that be better for your family? Wouldn't that be better for your generations to come? It's something to think about. And I know it's tempting to have fun. Be reckless. Do whatever you want to do. I also want you to think that a lot of the things that we typically deal with during those times tend to cause a lot of issues in our future as well. It's where a lot of mental health cases arise, when a lot of trauma occurs that we typically did not want, but we may have allowed it into our lives. These could be some of the best years of your life, sometimes some of the worst. But I'm urging you to use the best years that you can optimally use so you can focus on you, focus on your own success, focus on your own building of your mind, of your creativity, and of your person. So you don't have to spend the next 40 years, like the average adult does in the world, to work their lives away. What if we started to flip the script and we traded 10 years of work for 40 years of freedom instead of 10 years of fun for 40 years of work? Something to think about. But it's up for you to choose. And it's up to you to elevate.